Howell. This is the Deltahead stream. A slightly tired James Howell. It's been a long, long day, but here we are at the end of it. 1 second, I'm bringing up Twitch chat here. I really need a haircut. It's getting kind of everywhere here. All right, good stuff. So yes, Deltahead stream, date 11/10/2020, and we're doing part 6 of Fatal Frame 2. I don't even know how far we are through this game, and it is an instance where I feel like we're a little, not lost entirely, but it just feels like I'm not able to really pick up from the story beats how far into the narrative we are, because I don't feel like it's really broken up into acts in the way that's sort of readable easily. So it's a little difficult to figure that out. But for pregame show, reading has been mostly Lloyd Alexander's Prydain books, and these are kids' books, but it presents an interesting problem for me cognitively, because these are good stories, and the sort of like, intellectual, scholarly part of my brain is looking at these things and figuring out how Alexander has translated Welsh myth into digestible children's book. There are many Tolkien-esque elements to it. There's a Gurgi, who is a kind of Gollum character, but basically the Smeagol version of Gollum, and not Gollum. But the bigger problem is actually more technical, because I find my mind just drifting off while I'm reading this, and I ask myself, just out of curiosity, I observe my brain, and I'm like, why are you not paying attention? No judgment, just going to find out what's going on in there. Why do you seem to not want to play with this? And I can't really get a good answer, but I am interested in it, so that's not a problem. So what I decided to start doing was treating this as though it were a book I were reading to a child, and start reading it aloud to myself. And I found that even though the going is slower, because I'm not just sort of like letting the words hit my eyeballs into the back of my brain, convert itself into abstractions and images, and then let them go, I'm having to, perform each word and each sentence, and make it an actual, a much more physical, visceral act of reading. And I find that if I do that, the story sticks. And it doesn't matter if my mind wanders from the words, because there's this extra sensory reflection of the writing that's coming at me. So basically, I'm reading the story aloud to myself, and it does make your throat sore after a little while. A little tough to kind of keep that up if you got a bit of a cough. But so I just let my cat think that I'm talking to her, and it has the added effect of making everybody happy. So that's really been the main reading. Movie-wise, let's see, what do we got here? Godzilla raids again, and King Kong versus Godzilla. Looking forward to that. Sword. There's more to this title than just sword. Wait, oh, it's really light. It says Sword of the Beast. That's it, Sword of the Beast. And Drunken Angel. So that's the way my diet has changed is one kaiju movie, one samurai movie, one Yakuza movie. That's what I'm looking for. Even though there's actually 2 samurai movies this week, because there's Sword of the Beast and also Lone Wolf and Cub #3. Evening, Space Hamlet. It's good to see you. Just getting the pregame show out of the way, and about to launch into this. Evening, Swayard. It's been a while. Hopefully not too long that coming back is a feeling of nostalgia, but it's good to see you again. Nostalgia versus recent memory. So, Oh my god, my brain. Let's hop into it. Recently found, this is something I'm gonna find and share. I remembered while I was driving to Scarecrow Video to pick up those DVDs. I remembered I was driving and singing along to Maneater, Out of Touch, and Private Eyes, which are three of my favorite Hall & Oates hits, singles. And I remember, just this memory came back. I remember I wrote a Hall & Oates and Metal Gear Solid crossover fic back in 2015. And I have a recording of it somewhere, of me actually reading it. I think it's like a 10-minute recording. And I'm going to find that and listen to it, see if it holds up. And if it does, I'm going to share it. Birds and the Bees cover album of Hall & Oates songs? No, I did not. Hall & Oates are a favorite. So I am very interested in hearing that. John Oates in particular. Every time I look at one of their music videos, I look at John Oates and I'm like, that is a man who is enjoying where life has taken him. Good job, John Oates. He's still alive, too. And he does, in fact, look like an older version of the same person. All right. So, to wander again, somewhat aimlessly, through All God's Village. I know we haven't even, again, trying to gauge how far through the game we might be by the amount of territory I've crossed over. I mean, since, you know, obviously the story beats aren't telling me how far along through the game I am. I look at the map and the territory, and there's the graveyards we haven't handled. I kind of have a feeling that big old mansion that we had to escape from where the flashlight didn't work is going to come back into play. And there's inevitably going to be a return to the big underground ritual area, but I just have no idea how that is all going to play out. Yeah. A sixth installment of the playthrough is quite a bit longer than I thought this was going to take. And, okay, so what am I trying to do? I solved the problem with the doll heads. I'm back in this mansion. Hide and seek. That's right, hide and seek. So we're gonna go upstairs. And the old Tachibanery. That's what I'm going to call this place. Ugh. Interesting. Flashlight clipping. Yeah. A positive side effect of being kind of brain tired of jumping into this is that the energy that I have available to be tense in anticipation of the jump scares is a little more drained. So I am not quite as forbidden by my dread to wander around here. Now I believe, is this locked? Weird, I thought this was locked. There's a... No. This door is taken off here. Yeah, the graphics are pretty good for a PS2 game, and it's kind of I mean, for a PS2 game, PS2 games looked quite good in general. But That's a delayed sound effect I don't like. Yeah, the dread that I feel playing these games is it sticks with me. That's weird. Just gonna something about the sound there. Oh well, not important. So this is where I hide and seeked with the kid first, and that was done. There is this whole complex of rooms here where she could be hiding, so I'm gonna check those out. Nope. Oh, actually, I can probably upgrade my camera quite a bit. Yeah. Yeah, let's blast, increase exorcism. Yeah. Oh, 0. Yeah, that's what we want. How have you been, Swayart? It's been a while. I remember you mentioning, as per your name, that you have streams on in the background while you draw. And I hope your illustrating has gone well these past few months. I should probably heal up to... I'm absolutely not hurting for healing items. Yeah, the dread in this game is not coming from potential consequences. It is coming from the atmosphere itself. So, bravo game. Nothing over here. Oh, that's right. Possessed sister is in there. Doing comic covers for Marvel. Finished something for EW. Congratulations on those gigs. Bell design. Okay, I probably got to get this key from that kid I'm searching for. Congratulations. NDAs being what they are, I won't put you on the spot and ask you which ones they are before they're out, but if you let me know once they've hit the shelves, I'd love to take a look at them. Gotta get this key from that kid I've been searching for. It is a highly video game sentence. Trying to think of, I don't know, maybe a janitor might utter it? After having been pranked. I just ran a big old circle. Okay. Let's try up here. I would think that as powerful as I am at this point, and as much as I've proven that I can, in fact, survive whatever this mansion is throwing at me, Okay, down that hall. And as well equipped as I am, I would feel a little more sense of ownership over this virtual space by now. But that appears not to make much of a difference. I still feel like a stranger here. Still feel very much like an outsider. Boards have been nailed carefully. That's interesting definition of careful. On the haphazard end of the careful spectrum. Oh, you've got a few out. One for Black Widow and a tribute for Chadwick on the back covers. Star Wars cover coming next year. Fantastic. Yeah, no, that sounds like a lot of work. And a lot of pressure, too. Congrats for being able to handle all of that. I hope you're able to kind of take care of yourself creatively amid all of that. So much of the time, freelance or contract work winds up feast or famine, you know? And feast always sounds like it's good, but there is such a thing as being too full. Like, excuse me, like Naked Snake in Metal Gear Solid 3, when you're trying to clear out that food inventory, and you're just stuffing Russian ration after Russian ration inside of him, and he's like, can't eat another bite, can't take on another commission. Is kind of how that sometimes feels. Alright, well, looks like Kiddo is no longer up here. It's a weirdly focused perspective. Okay, door is broken. After that one jump scare at the window, I am less inclined than ever to explore the environment in first person, which is a shift because I often, in games where you do get a tightened perspective over the shoulder when you aim a gun, often like to look around like that, but in this game, no thank you. Yeah, a first year is absolutely a learning experience. I believe there's a line from Blake, like something like, "Until I had too much, I did not know what too much was." I found that particularly meaningful when I myself was overworked voluntarily. Ah, Jesus! Okay, I found something. Oh god, I hate this game. Alright. Oh man. Yeah, getting scared prompts my my Dr. Hibbert laugh. Oh man. Yep. Let's take this fight into an area where I can move around, huh? Well, I am... Ah! Oh, there you are. Oh no. Alright, you know what? Just gonna run around. Oh no. Some spiritual force. Oh, this is awful. No, 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 no! Oh, thank God. Whew. Ah, missed the zero shot. Oh God! Did not like that at all. Excuse me. Oh man, yeah. When I had the jump scare, I actually felt that right here, and I'm like, oh man. I hope that didn't prompt cardiac arrest. Hope I'm just get out running a little more regularly. I just want to take note of how awful that is. How many points was that worth? 1,383 points. That's pretty good. I think I might grab a frame shot of this after the stream, because that is one of the closest, unintentionally closest pictures I've ever taken of a ghost in Fatal Frame. Yeah, the ghost model is less grotesque. I just don't want it anywhere near me. Wait, this is where I got jumped by a bunch of regular villagers. I hope they are not back. Oh man, yeah, if I wanted a bigger room to fight in, I probably could have just come out here. I like how she qualifies the bedding as damp, meaning that she did in fact reach out there to get a tactile assessment. Also, she tries to lift the sword because I just like the last thing that I would want to do in this place is touch anything that I absolutely did not need to. Okay. Let's try in here. Oh God! So we're doing this now, huh? Okay. Jesus. Ah! Jesus! Maybe I can... Ah, I missed the combo. It looks like she alternates between inert and then running for me. Oh God! No, 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 no! Crap. I hope I can't get stun locked. Oh my God, the audio in this is horrible. I can hear the bells ringing. Oh, crap. Jesus. I don't think this is the room that I wanted to be in. Oh God! Come on. Oh, that's cool. Oh, thank God.
Get me back my brother.
Give me back my brother. Thank God. Red speckled crystal. Cool. Let's see what her tormented thoughts are. Yeah, yeah, it is pretty intense. It's one of the reasons why, besides wandering around and being a little confused about what to do, this is one of the reasons why playing this game has taken so long. Um, it's a little hard to plow through it, and I kind of want to. I kind of savor the intensity. It's nice to have a game that genuinely gets my adrenaline up. That's not a, action game or something. Do wish I do wish something a little more interesting had been done with the crystal radio feature. I just feel like what you hear through them doesn't really capture a whole lot that's interesting, or at least that varies more than what you hear. Um, um, doesn't vary much more than what you hear from the ghost environmentally when it's chasing you. I'm looking for that variety. Okay. So I'm going upstairs, and that'll get me close to the room where Mayu is locked. Ah! Who is it? What is it? I don't like it. Whatever it is. I'm just gonna look at my map. I'm ready to just run. It's something telling me it hurts. And I'm fine being as uninvolved in that as I can. Oh, good. The room stopped it. Do locks even mean anything here? Are they solely for my benefit? I guess they might stop Mayu from moving around of her own volition, and ghosts can spirit her through the doors. Itsuki, I pray that you read this. I can't stay in the village any longer. I told Yai and Sai that I would comfort them the day of the ceremony. After they make it out of the village, I'll take care of them, don't worry. Okay, so this is Munakata, who, might have come back. Actually, no, he probably tried to come back and then couldn't find it again because it became cursed. And then went on to take that personal good fortune and die in Himuro Mansion. If we perform the Crimson Sacrifice, then Yai and Sai will not need to go through the ritual. But if our ritual fails, they will be the only ones left for the next sacrifice. I have to get Yai and Sai out of this village. The horror has to stop. There has to be another way. I cannot let them suffer like this. The old passageway... Oh, this sounds relevant. The old passageway under Kureha Shrine has been sealed ever since some twins tried to escape through there long ago. The ceremony master said that they were killed by a cave-in during their escape. Concerned, the ceremony master sealed the old tree which enshrines the remaining. Okay, so this takes me up to the graveyard. Although the path is sealed, a passageway still leads out. Opening the seal should make it possible to leave the village. The pinwheel keys that open the seal have been handed down through the families of 4 veiled priests. I was able to find the pinwheel for this family in the storehouse. After passing through a passageway, you only have to run through the forest and remember to never look back. But will those two have the willpower necessary? Okay. So I gotta find 4 keys. Tachibana Crest. Fluorite.
Through here, we can get out of the village. course I won't leave you behind. I kept looking for you. Now let's get out of here.
This is good. The apparition that appears to be possessing my sister is concerning.
It's beginning. Hurry. We need to get to the old tree.
That's a weird audio effect for something that's happening outside. Yeah, until Mayu opened the door and came through, I was thinking it is awfully optimistic of Mio to continue looking at the door as offering her any insight as to what the ghost will do, because they have a habit of leading you in one direction and then popping up right over your shoulder the next moment. Let's bring that over.
Neo, my leg hurts. It aches.
Yeah, the audio effect on their voice is weird. It sounds like she's in a small echoing chamber.
Neo, my leg hurts.
See, who is that? Not that one. Who is that showing up on that camera shot? Nope. Oh, nothing from that. I must have been like a half second too late.
Wait!
Oh, I have the family crest. I can put it here now. Or I thought I could. Yeah, I mean, this... I don't know if they've tried or explained why they can't just run off through the woods, but they're not keen on it. Found a map of the passageway. Well, that's an unfortunate omission. Among the old books, it seems to be of an underground cave used for the ritual. It also looks like there might be a way out of the village. This exit was also accessible from the shrine grounds, but that way was sealed long ago. The goal is to find your sister and get out, so that is absolutely our priority. I mean, the path disappears that you came in on. Having walked through forests, I can tell you that does not need to be an obstacle. But... Ah, Jesus. Okay. Quickly, with nervous, trembling fingers, load in a new, slightly powerful, more ghost film. Come on, buddy, be vulnerable. Oh, whoa! What's this? Ah! I feel like I'm mainly doing chip damage to these ghosts. There we go. That's a good technical hit. Oh, right behind me. There we go. I really dig the design with the paper over his face. Is my sister still there? Please tell me my sister's still there. Okay, good. I wonder if she still has the ghost hands. This was something that somebody on a previous stream brought up. If you take a picture of Mayu, you can see, like, you can basically see her possession. It looks like that's over. Suppose the ghostly forces are ferrying through the village in a way that happens to resemble a survival horror game progression. I mean, it's true. They always... I mean, this seems to be something that is common with evil, tormented forces that need to be released in horror games generally. They want you to go through the motions of their trauma so you can survive it as they did not. And that's kind of the gist of this as well. So there's a little bit of sense to it, but it, you know, even though it is a little formulaic. Yeah. I gotta say, this ritual's got a great sense of game design. Alright, I've got a few more things to listen to. And, Sway Art, that's, I mean, ice cream? Interesting. I mean, the characters' faces do have this sort of, like, undifferentiated PS2 smoothness to them, so I can get that.
I'm sorry. Because I ran away. Everyone had to die. Everyone. Yay. Help me.
Well, okay. Mayu's charm is kind of doing more what I expect this thing to do, which it's showing that she herself is identifying with Sai's memories and that's sort of causing a lot of distortion or noise in her spirit, and that's very interesting.
We killed her. That can never be undone. This was doomed from the beginning. We should have let them both go. Sigh as well.
Space Hamlet, I particularly enjoy the lingering historical trauma to a place motif of horror. The Shining is an excellent example of that. And this place kind of has that going on too. I mean, the ritual borked, so it can be read as this place showing me what happened to it. Even though I think it's probably maybe better described as just a combination of individual forces working in concert, as they did in the ritual. Oh, nope, not this one.
I don't want to be alone. Together. So, yay. Me.
So that is Sai's memories. I guess she was locked up in that room at one point too. There was a physical blockage between me and the forest. Yeah, there was a creek that that I did cross by bridge. I think the big thing that's blocking my path in terms of the game is the entrance to this underground cave. Again, with the forest being open and sprawling, I'm still not clear why I just couldn't do that, but gotta go where they want you to go. It's interesting that seems to have been an optional fight.
Wait!
Let's see, is there any other door in here? Oh, there's the door behind the shrine. Is that accessible? I mean, it showed a dude walking in here, so I do assume that got someplace to go here. The creek surrounding the village is a, I mean, it is a good answer. It's just they give me a bridge over it, so I'm not seriously impeded there. Oh, hey, cool. A movie would have a scene where they try to move through and ghostly hands reach up out of the water. Yeah, I think the standard video game equivalent of that is trying to wander into the, wander outside the playable area. Everything goes all misty or dark, and then when you receive control, you are still moving in the same direction from your perspective, but you're wandering back into town, the sort of Silent Hill mist thing. And that would work for me. I'm fine with that. What keeps me from going across that bridge? Oh, I mean, I can walk across it. It's kind of a closed loop. A straw doll about the size of a person. Yeah, that screams horrible ritual effigy. I don't know. thing about the forest is it is a sort of wild, unkempt area. Leaves you rife with vulnerabilities, and it seems like the kind of place where the village assumes you're not playing by its rules, so you had it. Yeah, the spaces are good. I crossed the creek on my way over to this Torii gate. Oh, hey, a pinwheel. Bewildering. I thought I could... thought I needed to find pinwheels. Let me check, see what happens if you try to run into those trees. Yeah, you just get to the edge of the path and it's an invisible wall. Pardon me. That was just there. Come on, kiddo. I would also accept a subjective reason for not going through, like my character is scared of it. Character's unwillingness to do what player wants is also good. That's the lattice to the right of me. And it looks like somebody is walking through it to speak with somebody else. Choose to read that my character is now invested in these proceedings. Yeah, I mean, curiosity and getting, I really think that a lot of inexplicable involvement in dangerous events can be chalked up to momentum and curiosity. At least I'm part of something. No, that was a bigger structure than what's to the right. Them being invested in righting the wrong, I could also see that. It's not made extremely obvious that they are that invested in it. Their main object is escape, and even though Itsuki, who is the Dark Souls Raiden fella at the storehouse, he's been helpful, but I don't feel like Mio here has really invested in that relationship very much. Oh, God almighty. Alright. I was waiting for the fatal frame little blinky light, but I'm not getting that. buddy. Just try it. There we go. God. It's kind of a waste. I want to get that meter charged back up for the next difficult fight. Where you at, buddy? Oh, there you go. There we go. That feeling when games, one way or another, find an especially good ludo-narrative way of framing the player relationship to the space. When all your actions can be summed up as trying to escape and then trying to get back into that castle. Interesting. Yes, Inside is still on my list of things to play, per your recommendation. No, good, I can finally go in.
Mayu! Just let me rest. Mayu, are you okay? I'm sorry.
Interesting, seeing her character model bloom in from transparency. It's a game about fascism. Well, that's certainly relevant, isn't it? Give me 1 second. I'm going to get a refill on my water and return. And I haven't saved in a while, so I'm going to pause that. But you know what? I'm going to pause it. I'm going to put it on the... I don't know. What are the odds that I'm going to get attacked? I want to see if we can get the... yeah, I don't think this is going to be an attacked space. I want to see if we can get the idle screen going. Evening, Hobgoblin. It's good to see you. I'll leave you with this preview of things to come. I need to get the outline around the panda emote a little more pronounced. So, be right back. Alright, good. I haven't been attacked. But you are about to be attacked by some grade A quality cat. Meow. How do you put the poke on the panda? Every time the calm of his attitude is here, it's just very do 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 do, very Jurassic Park, noble moment. This is the pose of a panda who is proudly showing off all the medals that have been pinned to the lapel of his uniform for valor on the field of battle. You can see the paws right there. It's kind of how he chills out. Yep, this is him. Yeah, he's got good paws. He's got good paws. The other thing you can't see is that, oh, I can show this to you. This is kind of how, I tried holding him a little more firmly, but that leg just wants to stick out. Oh yeah, there we go. Good guy. You done with the people? Oh, he's just sitting down. Oh, come on, kiddo. I do apologize for disturbing your rest, but I return you to it. Oh. Oh, good. We have the creepy, hollow-eyed old man-eyes child. So, yeah, that's one of the Sway Art. That is one of the idle animations. I've seen at least 3 faces. Let's see, you tip it and it goes away. Something else that it also does. For audio-visual idle distortion stuff, it plays a little static in your ears when the screen flickers. So, yeah. Channel points to modify an emote. I did not know you could do that. There's so much about Twitch that is just a mystery to me. My knowledge of it is stuck back in the old Justin TV days. Oh, hey, look at this. I'm selling a product. But, yeah, Space Hamlet, there's something that I realized today. So while I was remembering that, that Hall & Oates crossover Metal Gear Solid fic, I remember that the dramatic reading of it actually incorporates Hall & Oates music into it, and I need to find that. That's very important that I do that tonight. But I also realized, I don't know if you remember the mid-2010s joke video Brody Quest. That's like the best day in Adrian Brody's life, and he basically starts by waking up in the morning and ends as the singularity. Realized the baseline to that except for the notes. The rhythm to the bass line to that is the same rhythm to Maneater. And I have not been able to stop hearing both of them at the same time. Listen to Brody Quest, and then listen to Maneater, and you'll hear what I'm talking about. Excuse me. Maneater was... I'm just going to give it a second here. I am very curious to see if it gives us another face for the idle thing. Maneater was one of two songs that I had play, that I had my gunship play whenever it appeared on the battlefield in Metal Gear Solid 5. The other one was Gloria, and there's something very special about that bass line playing as the anthem of death, as the wholesale demolition of a Soviet checkpoint begins. It's pretty amazing. Gloria also is a good choice for that. I'm thinking something that might be fun after I do this. I feel like I'm a little Fatal Framed out after Fatal Frame 2, and I'm thinking about a Metal Gear. I'm thinking it might be fun to kind of fire up my old Metal Gear Solid 5 save and see what, if anything, has deteriorated and how much my base has been whomped by people invading it through the FOB minigame. That would be fun. Oh, the baseline goes back a ways. Interesting. I did not know that. Hobgoblin, how are you doing tonight? You got here right as I stepped off to grab some more water. Yeah, it does sound fun. I'm trying to think of... I think I am going to play a Metal Gear game after this. I'm trying to decide which one. I've done a lot with MGS 2 and 3. MGS 1 might be a little more retro than I'm feeling. So that leaves MGS 4 and 5 and Peace Walker. 5 might be fun to do. I think 5 might have the... it's been a while since I've played it, and the gameplay is exquisite, and that would be a lot of fun. Yeah, Swayart, you're not the first person I've heard say that, actually, that it's fun to watch, but I think like stealth gameplay requires getting into a particular mindset that I don't know, that maybe that's not exactly where you're coming from on that, so if not, please correct me, but that's always been kind of like the main sort of opinion voiced of folks who like watching it but don't like sort of like really get into the groove of playing it. Evening, Iceman Dan. Peace Walker? Yeah, no, Peace Walker is underrated. I really like the way they handle the artistic style of the cutscenes. The story is a little at a point where Metal Gear starts to lose me. Oh, it's just the same creepy old man, vacant eyes kid. It's a shame. I wonder if those faces are called upon by the area that you're in, or what? Yeah, Iceman Dan, I got a PSP for Metal Gear Acid 2, I think it was. It was the Metal Gear Acid games, for sure. But yeah, my save file, which I was not able to transfer over to my PS3, if you remember transferring as Kojima's trademarked, that was the word I'm looking for, not pantaloon, not pantomime, not prognosis. It sounds like furniture. Portmanteau. Portmanteau for, cloud saves, which is really silly. I can't find my old Peace Walker save file where I had maxed out all of the board chips. Yeah, I think my PS3 save is probably back up there too. Oh yeah, my PSP still works. I've got a lot of games on there that I can't really play otherwise, So, man, those pinwheels have a, in the background, add a very eerie dynamism to the face when it happens to overlap it. Just kind of want to see that happen again. It sticks around. Yeah. I recommend it. The last game I got for it was Third Birthday, which I did not make it entirely the way through because there was a point where the action was just sort of conflicting with the action was conflicting with the controls in a way that I wasn't really able to
It's our fault.
get a handle on. That was like a year or so ago. It's probably worth going back. Octagon key. Yeah, I bought. Oh, that's weird. I raised my camera and that is what it automatically pivoted to. Pardon me. Yeah, I still think, I mean, the PSP was flawed in some ways, but I still really enjoyed it as a system, and looking at that big, gorgeous screen compared to the DS and Game Boy Advance at the time really made you feel like you were playing something futuristic. Sphere Hunter, no, I have not heard of that. That looks like the storehouse. One cry. Okay, yep, that's it. What is Sphere Hunter, Swayart? Small red pinwheels making a dry rasping sound as it turns. I feel like that is missing from the sound design in this room and would make this excruciatingly creepy. Yeah, probably for children. Probably for the other sacrifices. Twins play an important part in the ritual. In recent years, the government issued a decree that the first twin to come out is the eldest. Each region used to have its own rules until the decree was made. Interesting. I've never thought about that before in my life. When I asked the ceremony master about the village's rules, he grinned and said that tradition is tradition. The village still practices the old way. The twin that is born second is considered the elder. Interesting. I myself always assumed. Okay. Letting me know that sister's hanging there. I myself always figured that the one born first was the eldest, probably from the old Jacob and Esau tale, where Esau was born first and Jacob grabbed his ankle, and that was sort of prophesying his acquiring Jacob's birthright later. Oh, interesting. A retrospective on Third Birthday. Yeah, I'd love to see it. I really like the Parasite Eve games. The second one is easily one of my favorites on the PS1. Yeah, Space Hamlet, this is an example of the forest being inaccessible. I can glide against the pampas grass all I want. In the days of primogeniture, yes, I think that is exactly the distinction. The reason for it. Oh wow, that is some low-res pampas grass. Yeah, the coloring on the fog, I think, supports that. I feel certain I'm going to get jumped in this graveyard. Wait a minute, no, I don't need to be going this way. I just missed something that's slightly off camera. Alright, where am I going? Alright, so I'm going to take a right, I'm going to take a left from Mio's perspective. There we go. Space Hamlet, here's that bridge. Actually kind of reminds me of the bridge at the entrance of the village in Resident Evil 4. Yes, Hamlet. That sort of immersion and sense of being surrounded by lore, I think, is very important for getting the imagination engaged. Proceed toward my point of origin, a painted doll. No, we're not quite in Bloodborne territory, but this actually is my point of origin. This is where I started. We entered the village and then wound up here, and then everything wound up being a wraparound map. That's interesting, Sway Art. Yeah, I am also amazed when I find out certain games existed on like the PS1 and PS2 that I had no idea about that are 100% in my wheelhouse. Yeah, this particular kind of blue. These would be the Torii gates that I came through, I believe. But, I'm hearing something. Hold on. Ah, Jesus H! That's what I'm hearing. Oh, you guys can go to hell. Yeah, no, I was thinking like, man, I'm probably focusing and paying attention, and I'm going to just like have like a one of those screamer video moments, and lo and behold. Come on, guys, I need you to attack me. Just gonna burn through my film. Oops, wrong. Part of this is my own impatience, but waiting for these guys to attack always kind of takes takes a little bit of the spike out of the combat for me, because I'm impatient, and but I also want to feel like I am playing the game technically well. Yeah, I don't want to wait for them to attack or try to figure out whatever that triggering is that makes them do that. So I just cheese them or chip damage them. Wow. There's Itsuki's hovel. And that was weird. That was in response to. Shutterbug combat style sounds like a Frank West thing right there. If ever a one I heard. Let's see what Itsuki has to say. Oh, weird. Yeah, this particular kind of blue suggests increasing curse. Like the blue that is encroached and made the village lost is gradually shrinking its perimeter. Excuse me. And that's neat, I think. Ugh. Aw.
The ritual is beginning.
Yai, I'm sure my brother will forgive me.
Oh, the table is probably what he stood on to kick out from underneath himself. Will Mutsuki ever be able to forgive me? I could not make him into a butterfly. I could not become one with him. It is all my fault. Please forgive me. Oh, Mayu's got something to say.
The bridge that connects between the houses. Dolls. A hidden room in the wall. Deep in the cemetery. An altar. The Tsuchihara grave. In a kimono box. A woman.
It sounds like she's talking about graves in the graveyard. Which, I mean, might be a hint where I need to go.
I was wrong. Can I not save anyone? Will anyone forgive me?
It's interesting. I could hear, kind of in that low growl of the distorted and slowed down speak, I could hear Watashi. I wonder how much of the sort of like growly Japanese distorted voices are still in there, and they just put the English on top of it. Doesn't look like it's been opened in a long time. It's like a map of the village. Oh, there we go. All God's Village map. Okay. So there's a mark in the Osaka house. There's a mark in the Kiryu house and one in the graveyard. God, I hate going back into these places. Let's check to see if there's anything horribly upstairs. Thank God. Like, ever since that woman crawled out of the kimono chest as a sort of weird broken backed slump and attacked me with her head upside down, just horrible. I have hated Osaka House, even though it is technically the just like the tutorial place. It is, and will forever be, more frightening than any mid or late level in this game. I'd be really interested to compare, and I think I will later, what All God's Village looks like atmospherically at the beginning of the game versus now, and see if there's a transition. I hear this weird chattering and giggling that I'm not super keen on, personally. Jesus Christ. The kimono scared me. As a register of how scared I am, I want to break the immersion and save again. Okay, this was a bad room before. Oh no. Oh no, don't do it. No! Dude, she lives there. You know this. she also takes like 1,000,000 years to be vulnerable to shoot. Or... What? There we go. Oh, damn it. Oh, good. There we go. The frame chance is so short with her. Ah. Getting nervous. Yeah, I can see what they're doing here. You have to hit it at that exact moment and she gets pushed back. But if you don't, then she keeps getting closer. Kind of a heaven smile thing. Jesus, thank God. Yes, the ring is terrifying. I'm trying to remember. Does I remember in the English language version there was supposed to be like resolution, like she set Samara free, but I don't think that's the case in the Japanese version. I think she just... Ah! God almighty! Yep, later kids. Nope, you cannot come out now. We are done. This is over. Enjoy your purgatorial existence. Okay. You following me? You're following me. Okay, let's look at our map. So... Wait. Let's, yeah, okay, good. Later Fatal Frame games, wisely let you toggle between film settings with the camera raised. Okay. Oh. I hear a weird squeaking noise and I don't like it. So it's in the proportion. It's probably somewhere over here. Maybe the projector room. Of course, probably the doll room. I'm just really hoping the will have the decency to give me a cutscene when the ghost I am to fight appears. I hear the Buddhist chanting.
Why do you kill?
Okay.
Why do you
It's always questions with kids. When are we having lunch? What are we having for lunch? Why do you kill? What? Yeah, there we go. Come at me, bro. Thank God. Was that... That was not my fight. Okay. So, other possibilities. There was a blue prompt in the sliding screen room. I feel the same sort of like low-level clench all over my body from nervousness about this as I do when I have to steel myself for like swatting down a spider or something, which I equally hate. Upstairs, maybe? Okay. Evening Mexican Sting. Yes, it is the fire that burns within. It's going alright. Trying to make it through this game. This is uniquely distressing. Back of a girl wearing a kimono. Okay. Oh, that's the doll. Great. Alright. How are you, Mexican Sting? Sliding screen room. Excuse me. Okay, typically you don't have to wander too far to find what you need, so maybe it's in this room here. Alright. Big kimono. Whoa. I didn't know that was there. Digestive problems? Man, I hear that. Ah, the doll. Alright, let's just get the hell out of here now. kick it, man. At least it's physical. Yeah, this game is definitely going to give me digestive problems. It's the acid reflux territory. Because for some reason the body thinks stress, oh yeah, more acid. Let's create that. Alright. So I'm gonna run down this hallway. I'm gonna run down those stairs. Spit the acid at my foes. Yeah, I can see a reptile strategy being valuable here. Wait, which way's my exit? Am I facing it? I'm facing it. Oh no! Open the damn door! Okay. Okay, we gotta do this. Man, I don't even get a this door is held by a spiritual force message. Yeah, the emote is here. Got some panda there. I want to revisit it to kind of make the outline of the panda a little clearer, maybe kind of bring out some of the features, but that is the power we're playing with. Oh, it's a dumb doll. Oh, there you are. Alright, I need a room. Someplace where I've got room to fight. Oh my god, be the real thing for once. What? Okay. Not getting a real damn ghost out of any of this. Yes. I am playing on a real PS2, and thank you for the Photoshop assistance. I've got somebody who has offered as well to help. I need to get the original photo, I think, for the lightning and then condense it down. Yeah, I try to play on as much original hardware as possible. Actually, you would be a good person to float this to. If I were to play after this, either Peace Walker, Metal Gear Solid 4, or Metal Gear Solid 5, which of those three do you think would be more interesting? There we go. We do, in fact, have a real ghost. Let's heal up from that. There we go. What? Oh god. Thank god. Raise your camera, kiddo. There we go. Please be it. It's not! Oh, whoa. Oh, good god. Alright. Here. MGS4. I can see 5 being non-linear and possibly even meandering without a clear endpoint. I actually haven't played MGS4 in quite a long time. Yeah, it sounds like 2 good reasons to deprioritize 5. Actually, I have not played Peace Walker in a very long time either, so that's those would be 2 rediscoveries. Building Mother Base, that is a good point. Do you have to build Mother Base in Peace Walker? I forget. I'm thinking you do, which is one of the reasons why the demolition of Mother Base in Ground Zeroes is so disheartening. Because that's your... Now, not your save file literally, but the thing that you have an emotional investment in from a previous game. Excuse me. Okay, interesting. Yeah. I think Peace Walker you can play through also without having to do a whole lot of side mission stuff. You can just kind of do it. You can just kind of go straight through it, can't you? Oh, yes. Time to officially go into the graveyard. A place that everybody knew they would have to... Wow, she really seems to be trucking it. Much faster than I'm used to her running. Like, finally, the adrenaline caught up with her. I want to say that Peace Walker is also a little thinner on story. Tsuchihara. I remember Mayu saying Tsuchihara in one of her crystal mutterings. Oh, that's right. I remember Fulton launching. I also remember, multiplayer co-oping a lot of the tank battles. Oh. Jesus. Yep. Oh, why do you duck out of my... This line of sight. Oh yeah, that's right. They've got a lot of the cassette tapes that they offload the... Ah, shoot, I missed it. The Fulton, or not the Fulton, the codec stuff. Okay. Alright. Poke damage. Jesus. Okay, so I guess Gravestone 1 was saying, hey, deal with Gravestone 2, and maybe there's something over here now? Yes, I was right. Okay. MG2 on MSX. That's also not a bad choice. That's like the Metal Gear, as far as the modern ones go, right? Okay. I gotta go in here, and I'm gonna refresh my water, let the spooky idle thing happen, and I'll be right back. mascot's back. I don't know if mascot is the right word. More of a patron, right? Seems like there's it's interesting. The notion of mascot and patron, well, the notions of mascot and patron saint definitely are not identical, but they seem to exist on a spectrum of supporting forces. He's a fine fella. Oh, he's tucking his paw. He's like, I would like that not to be out there. Thank you. His modesty becomes him. Oh, yeah. Good fella. Thank you for round 2. You? Hi. Hi, kiddo. Here. What's going on? Yep, it's the same creepy kid face in there. 1 being customer service rep, 10 being patron saint. That's very funny. Mascot's probably around a 4. Yeah, I wonder. Spirit animal, I feel, is probably like a kind of a 6 or 7. This thing's been waiting for me to give it attention for about an hour now, so I feel obligated to appease it over briefly. You good? Found things to touch? Yeah, found things to touch and tap. Found things to poke and break. Slide off. Come on, sweetheart. It is. Cats are very good. Not for the least which purpose. If the scary game in question is a ghost game, it does give you some assurance that you are not, in fact, in the actual presence of ghosts.
Poor Itsuki. It's our fault.
What was that? The image flashed too quickly for me to process. Probably as it's meant to, but... Oh, this is a bad time.
Where is my sister?
I think I remember being told not to look down there. And yes, Mexican sing, so far as I know. I choose to believe, because I must, that this is true. Okay. Just check in here. Each rotates clockwise, and okay. So any of them can be read. But because the red and green, one of these must be red, the other must be green. This must be red, this must be green. This must be blue, this is orange. Okay. Nope, that's not it. In RE4, I don't remember. I don't remember RE4 being particularly puzzle savvy. Leaned very much into wait a minute. Borked it. Wrong way around. Wait, I've already done this. Wish there were a reset. Okay. So now I gotta move this twice. Gotta move each of these once. What's my deal here? Oh, right, the church puzzle where you have to match images. Wait, I don't have to rotate that at all. What am I thinking? No, I see... Yeah! There we go. Okay. Oh, snap, this door.
Maya. No matter what happens, I'll forgive you. Stand up. We're almost home. Poor Itsuki. It's our fault.
Final chapter, Crimson Butterfly.
Now we can get out of this village.
I've been saving all this Type 0 and Type 90 film for this moment.
If we reach the shrine up there, we can leave the village.
Yeah, I know. We can leave the village. I do feel that's not the right conclusion to draw from any of my prior experience. Um, but I like the optimism. This chip-damaged trash mob. Just truly takes forever. Alright, maybe that wasn't forever. But it feels like it. So, sister confirmed, ghost kidnapped. Yep, ghost kidnapped. I have a choice? This is unexpected. This doesn't autosave, so I'm actually quite curious to see what happens if I do that, if I take that option. So I'm gonna just save my game real fast and then kick on over there to see. Okay. Possessed Mayu is going back to Giant Mansion. Okay, so we're going to take a look and see what the miserable, selfish sister ending is, and then go save Mayu. Or if you want to spin it around to where the value is turned around, saving Mayu is the sunk cost fallacy ending. And this is the smart bet. I've saved her 5 times, so surely the 6th must be worth it. The going back into the castle twist? Yeah. Yeah, I can see that for this. Alright, I've got duplicated save files, so...
I'm sorry. I can't keep our promise.
Seems like the moment where you'd probably die for ghosts.
Don't look back.
Mia, didn't we promise? Together always.
Mayu! Mayu? Mayu! 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 Oh, wait. Forever.
Oh! That's not an ending, that's just a game over. That's interesting. Huh! How interesting. Yeah, no, that's totally cursed forever territory. Alright. Which does leave open the question, what would have happened to her if she had not looked back? It's a very, kind of Orpheus and Eurydice thing. What's up here? Is there something up here? Or is it... Okay, it's down on the ground below. I don't like that sound at all. That would be the broken-necked woman. Oh man, I'm gonna get jumped on this bridge.
The 2 chosen children shall be carried to heaven on the wings of a butterfly. A butterfly that will save this village.
This is how it was meant to be.
Okay, if Water Lady shows up, I'm just gonna run on by. Alright. I swear this environment is so much more blue than it was when I came through before. When we were small, we once went to the river that flows out of the village. That day we made a promise. We'd always stay together forever. Even if we left the village, we wouldn't part. Promise to always be together, but my body is weak. I might not be able to follow you. You might leave me behind. Thinking about being alone scares me. As we grow older, we'll grow apart. We were born together as one. We can be together forever. Okay. The lanterns are lit. I think that might be new. Oh, God, I hate this place. Okay. That's right. This here is where I probably need to go. So, yeah, the family altar room, and then downstairs. So, right. Am I running toward a priest of some kind? Yep.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Oh. Is that my path? Oh, it is not my path because I can't go over there. Gotta say, the ramping up the alternating control between the two characters here at the end is very effective.
Let's do this together.
If I stay here, someday Yai will come back for me. Can I become a butterfly without her? If I could, I'd always be near the village waiting at the place we made our promise. She'll come, I know she will. Well, you've got her surrogate. I hope that works for you. Is this the right... Yes, it is. Ah, Jesus.
You finally come to me.
Good Lord. There's something else over here? Nope.
I kept waiting and waiting.
Let's load up with some better film. Well, I'll wait till I'm attacked. Oh, this is the folklorist who did not make it out. Oh, behind me. Okay. Oh, there he is. Alright. What? Is this, not an attackable boss? There we go. Oh man. Gotcha. Oh, there you are. Ah, don't think I got it. Oh, I did. Cool. Got him. Oh, cool.
Perform the ritual with Sai alone. Yai. Why did you leave?
Oh wow, you could really hear crazy sigh in the background of this one.
I will forgive you.
Yai, you must understand. The remain, such as ourselves, who are allowed to live, must live for the sake of the village.
Okay, sounds like a very general duty platitude. And I'm actually going to resave my game. Fatal Frame 1 has taught me that they will put like 2 tough battles back to back. And just in case that one goes south.
Leo, no. Don't come near. Save yourself. Run away. Yai, come here. Hurry.
Well, that's cool.
Once you've come this far,
I like the country.
you'll come for me, Yai. I know you will. We promised we would always be together. So you ran away. Let everyone die.
That's neat. That's a neat interrupting shot. I also like how the conflicting messages are sending across. Evening Texas Red. I'm going to play Fatal Frame 3 at some point. I think the Fatal Frame games are very tense for me, so I think I might need a break after playing 1 and 2 back to back. Oh, there we go.
Why didn't you kill me back then? Since my birth, I've been waiting for your hands to descend upon my neck. Kill me. 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 Kill me.
Wow. That insistence. Is very creepy. Wait, no, who? What? No, 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 no! Oh no. Oh, thank God. Feeling pretty happy I've saved up all this Type 90 film for exactly this moment. I think this might have been the exact right moment to break the seal on that. I don't think I've used a single stone mirror in this game. What's my health look like? Good. These are the same talon-like stones that are at the sort of elevated entrance to the village. I like seeing that image come back here at the end. I kind of hear something out of my left ear, but I don't know if that's an enemy or if that's just ambient. All right. Want to... Oh, damn it! Missed my chance. Oh, no, I didn't. I got him. Oh, no, 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 run, 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 run! Stun lock! Evening, Dustin. Well, you managed to get to the very end of the game. I think we're about to bring Fatal Frame 2 to a close. So this is definitely the last gauntlet, literally, of ghosts. Wrong thing. Failed Kasabi. Oh, I don't like that at all. Excuse me. This seems like a really bad idea. Oh. Oh. Those are mummies in the walls. Fantastic. Oh wow, two. Got one, but not the other. No, 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 no! Oh, man. close. Gotcha. Oh. I am firmly against... What? Stun locks in a game where you have limited mobility. But it's turned out okay. Oh, thank God. Oh, that's really interesting, Texas Red. That's Inunaki Village. Yeah, I'll take a look at that. The Lost Village idea is very interesting to me. And the book on Welsh mythology, well, not mythology, these are more like folk tales, which is like applied mythology. The Welsh folk tales I'm reading has this one curse that's placed on 4 people that basically condemns them to wander around Wales, or at least these particular cantrefs, such that the entire place has the illusion of being a lost village. It's interesting. So it's not the village itself that's cursed, but everything must look like that to these people. There we go. What? I think I was half a second too late. Oh, get close. Wow, they really send them after you here. Yeah, I'm just gonna run.
I knew you would come for me. I kept waiting and waiting. Let's continue the ritual.
Oh. Oh, man. Eternal ritual, huh? Oh man, they're just there forever. Evening, Dream Bomb. You have arrived at the very end of the game. Oh, wow. That's a great shot. Yeah, this shot here doesn't give you nearly the sense of depth as the other one. How are you tonight, Dream Bomb?
Forever. I'll wait forever.
What? Oh. Oh no. Oh, this is bad. Oh god. What? Okay. They're sending little things after me. And I don't appreciate that. It keeps healing up. Okay. Yeah. Guess I gotta combo him. Which means getting 0 shots. Ah, no. Ah! Yeah, he's got a life bar, which suggests he does in fact take damage. No, 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 go, go, go! Yeah. That kept the damage. Alright. I'm gonna load up the most powerful film I've got. Oh, I see. He's sending out... When he does that, he sends out the little, floating head projectiles, but that's not when he actually takes damage. I really want to use my powerful film, but I also don't want to waste it shooing away flies. And he's healed up again. Thank you, Peas. I find myself back in the position that I wind up being with Fatal Frame 2 quite a lot, which is, what do you want me to do? Alright, it looks like it's a matter of consecutive damage. Let's try this. Oh, Sparky. Yeah, he's healing back up. I would like him not to do that. Please, be vulnerable. Yeah, I don't know what it wants. I'm gonna try and run past him. I can't run past him. Okay. Alright, so I actually do need to eat dinner at some point tonight. I'm actually going to look up how to beat this guy because I'm not getting any signals on how to do this. So... if there are signals, I am not picking up on them. Kusabi can only be damaged with Fatal Frame or Zero Shot. Yes, I do see that. Yeah, it's weird. I'm looking up information on that, and I'm not seeing anything about the healing. So, alright. I'm going to load the Type 0 film. I'm going to wait for him to give me a shutter moment. I'm going to use the what do you call it? Zero Shot and try to combo him and see if that'll do it. I don't have enough to upgrade that, so... Damn it. Yep. 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 buddy. Okay. Seems I can bait him into attacking. Oh. So close. Okay, this is it. It's got to be it. What? Ah, I hit the button. I need you to... Oh my god. Ah. You've got to be kidding me. Yeah, I don't know if I have the patience to do that again tonight. Let me see how far... Let me see if I can run straight to the boss, and if that's the case, then I'll do it, but... I'm kind of annoyed right now. That's, yeah. Takes a little bit to get me there. Pizza is for dinner. Which is another reason why the patience is dropping. Because I have God's own ambrosia awaiting.
Yai, come here. Hurry.
Alright, so we're gonna just like... I don't think any of those grunts that the blindfolded guys actually are necessary to kill. So I'm gonna try and run through all of them. It is a pepperoni with a gluten-free crust. Okay. Leave off, Buster. Alright. Yeah, whether it is, you know, placebo or not, I don't know. But I do feel a little clearer headed if I adjust my diet that way. Mayu, I need you to run. Oh, it's just taking a while for the camera to catch up. Yeah, Mexican Sting, that's, my experience is similar.
Finally come for me. Finally come. We can be one. I knew you'd come for me. I kept waiting and waiting. Let's continue the ritual.
Well, you can do it. You can do bread and pasta gluten-free as well. Give me 1 second. I've got a. This water is having its say. So be right back. Okay. It is amazing what physical comfort will do for the threshold of your patience. That's interesting. Yeah, Dream Bomb. I mean, fortunately for me, do not have the sort of what do you call it? Additional responses to food that Mexican Sting has. I can sort of absorb the damage of the gluten substitutes. I'm really curious to see what the save ghost is here in the final area, or not the save ghost, the idle ghost that shows up on the screen. So I'm gonna sit here and take a look at that. And yeah, if it were not for substitutes on gluten, then I would be in a very poor place, because I don't like to cook, and breads and pastas are very much, well, my bread and butter, literally. Yep, one last go. This is well, I mean, we're also, it's part 6, of the playthroughs, and we're right here at the end. So, given that last push to make it through, I think only makes sense. Something that I am noticing on this end that is strange is the PS2 is kind of clearly reading the disc quite a lot here. And I'm wondering what it's pulling off there that is necessary at a moment where nothing is really changing. Oh, wow. It might stream in the audio. That's interesting. Because all the other assets here are loaded, clearly. Or at least one assumes so. I don't think it's preloading anything. Oh, yeah, there we go. I'm not happy about that. Excuse me. We've seen her before. And, nightmares about this stuff? No. Actually, this, the things that I have nightmares about are actually more movies than games. Because I have some control over them. Games just tend not to be that distressing to me. Alright. Alright, Kusabi. Oh, I am quite distressed. Fortunately, I can kind of leave it. I can kind of leave it all on the field, so to speak. Absolutely do not want you to do that. Yes. Yeah. No, we're still gonna run away from this. Don't want room to retreat. Yeah, we can do it. We can totally do this. Camera up. Yeah. Did that do it? No, it didn't. Oh, he's like 1 HP away. Oh crap. Film. Come on, dude. Run! killing me, man. Actually, I'll heal up after that. Missed it. Let's take the damage, make the projectiles disappear. And run, run, run. Do not get hit by that. Oh my god. Oh, we're back to full health. This is brutal. All right. Oh no. Did I get it? Alright, if we can keep treading water here, and then I can charge up my meter for critical hit. Or this? Oh my god, thank god. Thank you. Whew. I think knowing the consequences of letting him touch me as like a one-hit kill would make that a little less distressing. But, I mean, a distressing boss fight is fine. It's something that I'll probably enjoy more in retrospect. I mean, I'm beating the ghost, but I don't know if that means I'm winning. Yes, you came for me after all. Please hurry. I'm right below you. I know you might not make it in time, but I'll wait for you until the very end. Whew. Yes, my code name is now Crimson Butterfly. Oh man. Hellish Abyss Mayu.
I kept waiting. In a dark, dark place. Shall we begin?
Is there any way I can... do this? Is there anything behind me? Okay.
Yai. We were born together. But we have to live and die separately. I knew this. I knew. Mayu. We'll be together. We will. We can't be together forever. But with this, we can become one. So it's all right. Kill me. Why didn't you give me back my ability to feel your hand on my neck? We were just waiting on you on that day alone. I was waiting, 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 waiting. Thank you.
Oh, wild. All those butterflies are all the sacrifices that have been made.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Tonally, I mean, like, her killing Mayu is fine. I think that sort of inevitability and dread works really well for the story. That it is not a subversion of the ritual, but a fulfillment of it. But tonally, this is very different from my feelings after all that. Yeah, this is in the musical tradition of Silent Hill. The Fatal Frame 4 ends this way too. Unexpectedly exultant is a good word for it. Strangely celebratory and celebratory, which, so while it doesn't match my feelings coming on the heels of everything that was just done, it is very interesting that to think of it as continued narration, that completing the ritual even at the cost of Mayu is in fact a success, and that this is like this sort of jubilation of the village freed from that curse. Yeah, this kind of J-pop anthem at the end of a dark, brooding game. It's very characteristic of the time. Getting big nostalgia feelings here for Silent Hill 4 and I mean even I Am the Wind at the end of Symphony of the Night has that sort of feeling. Pony Canyon? Pony Canyon was still doing stuff? They were a part of stuff going all the way back to like the NES Ultima Exodus. Sai is a boss on hard mode? Really? I was actually expecting to fight Sai at the end of this. I had this lingering feeling that there's something that I could have done. Oh hey, voice actor Walter Roberts. I wonder if Robert was in the side. Intact. So I'm curious about Robin Atkin Downs and Kim My Guest. That's some Metal Gear veterans there. Wonder who Robin Atkin Downs was. Yeah, right? Master Miller and Mei Ling. But, what was I saying? I don't remember what I was saying. Anyway, I was waiting for that. I really wanted to know who did voices in this. Robin Atkin Downs, weird.
Didn't we always promise each other? Together, forever.
Rank E. Twist the knife. Yeah. Still haunted forever, but with the key difference that she did not leave her sister in ghost hell alone. What I'm reading from that, the butterfly showing up on her neck is kind of twofold, both of which I think are simultaneously true. One is the memory of the trauma, like with the physical trauma of the sort of like choking ritual being represented on her throat. Not that that is actually appearing on her physique, but that's sort of expressive of that. Plus also the fact that when the rituals describe the twins becoming one and being together forever, there's sort of an internalizing of the butterfly, and that imprinting means that they too are together forever. So, yeah, that's my feeling. The Captain America bench. Yes. Mia, you gonna go back to All God's Village and get your revenge? No, I don't think I will. Well, thank you everybody for coming out. That was, there's a lot I really like about that game, and several things about the design and communication that I would change. But on the whole, I think that's definitely a PS2 classic. That's a high mark for horror games. Yeah, so it's a little late for more Super Mario Brothers, so I'm gonna call it a night here. On Saturday, that's a word. On Saturday, I'm gonna do part 6 of Evil Within 2. That game has reached its streamlined portion, so I think we're gonna be moving through that at a pretty quick rate. There's a Frozen Butterfly ending where she denied to do the sacrifice, but what comes from that is not that good. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking about, that exultant J-pop song at the end. That actually is a good ending, as dark as that is. It's almost there's something fatalistic, almost Nordically fatalistic about that, to me. But yeah, gonna do that, and I'm gonna make a choice about what Metal Gear game to fill the slot on Tuesdays with. So thank you everybody for your input, and hope everybody has a good night. Thank you for coming out, and hope to see you next weekend. Or this weekend. Yes, thank you for the pandas.